Wipe the grease off those hands. You're back in the garage with Bodie Stroud.
Hello and welcome back to In the Garage. Just got through venting a minute ago. No, I mean, I'm just saying, he was cool when I worked with him, but, enough is enough. It's just, I think people want to see a show where they're going to learn something, they're going to see some wild stuff built, and there's not a bunch of crying going about it. It's not about me, me, me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's keep the drama out of car building.
Yeah, I think it's enough is enough, man. But anyways, yeah, so we've been working on our own suspension lately, and I think, when did we start? Like around last August, kind of, we started working on a 65 fastback, and we started doing a lot of engineering and designing our own suspension, which we did on the 69, the real thing. We actually built the whole chassis for that car, which was quite the challenge, because we engineered, designed, built the chassis, and built the whole car in 4.5 months. So that's, for a high-end build like that, that's pretty crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was really crazy. It was intense for anybody who was around us.
Yes, it was.
It was a crabby 4 months.
Oh, man, it was brutal. I mean, there was a lot of, I think at one point we stayed up for 72 hours straight.
Yeah.
So
That SEMA rush.
But anyways, when we start doing our own suspension, we start with basically the stance we want. We will position the car. We'll start measuring. We'll start figuring out, what ride height we want. We start figuring out wheels and tires, and then we start figuring out geometry and everything. Track width, instant center, roll center. We start figuring out our turning radius. It's a lot of measuring. And I don't really think there's. I'll start by saying, I think everybody out there has their own idea of how something should handle, or how they've set it up or how they've designed it. And I'm not saying that we're better than anybody. I'm just saying that the cars we've done, and I understand suspension. When you drive it and you corner that car, I mean, it really handles, and that's what I like, and that's what a lot of my customers like, especially Tom. Tom's taught me a ton. Tom Fry, a good friend of ours, owned his own NASCAR team, and he won, and he won by setting up his suspensions, and he taught me a lot about suspensions. Taught both of us, me and Mitchell.
Definitely.
And it really opened my eyes, because back in the day I would just buy a kit from somebody, weld it in, and set up camber caster, and bam, boom, bang, and there you go. Well, now it's I've gone as far as to invent my own part. It's called an easy adjuster, which I forgot I was going to show everybody today, but whatever. Got a lot of stuff in my mind. That helps you not only save time when aligning your front end, but you can get precision adjustments out of it, and for the hardcore guy out there that wants to go flying through the canyon, with all the Ferraris, he wants to hang with his buddy in his Ferrari, flying through the canyon and cornering. Well, that's what we're trying to provide as car builders. We don't want to be just a car builder. We want to be somebody that comes to us and knows they're going to get a beautiful car, but they're going to realize how nice it handles, right, Mitchell?
Yeah, no, that's definitely, I think, where our industry is headed right now. Is everybody used to just like a car that looked good and you could cruise it up and down the street, but now I think it's a big push to get the old cars to handle as good as any car that's coming out on the market nowadays.
Yeah.
They want the cars to be able to compete with the new Camaro and the new Mustang, and have all that new technology with the older body.
And that's what we provide. We put all the new technology into it. And I mean, we're not throwing in a brand new front suspension off of a 2012 Lexus or anything, but we're trying to set it up, and I've actually kind of studied of how those things handle and how the Mercedes handle and the way it moves and the camber caster degree sets on them, you know, and we're just trying to copy it and, you know, provide that because especially the Starliner, you know, the Starliner that we did was, I mean, I couldn't be happier. You've been with me, Mitchell, in that thing, and we took a corner at about passing traffic. We were weaving in and out of traffic, and I swear it felt like we were driving a NASCAR. I mean, and we were taking that corner about 80 miles an hour during traffic. So that thing, right?
Yeah, it's a big boat of a car, but it handles.
Yeah, and it's
like
got
it's
a
a little
18 and a
sports
half
car.
inch wide tire in the rear, and everybody told us, oh, you'll never be able to make that thing handle. Well, that thing handles like a dream, and it seems like the faster you go. I've had it close to 150, and I don't know, we probably got up to, 120 when you were with me that day.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like the faster you go, the more it starts hugging the ground, and the better it handles. So that's what we like to do. You know?
Yeah, I think a lot of all the people who are out there doing kits nowadays, all the welding kits, it's still, most of them are still based off of older technology. That's just kind of like the standard that the industry hit with their IFS kits and their Mustang 2 kits. But we've actually put a lot of race car technology into our front ends, and the geometry is a lot more race directed than some of our competitors.
And I'm not saying, you know, I realize everybody has a budget as well, you know, and you do what you can do. And those front ends that you weld in, that you get, the IFS systems or the Mustang 2s, they're good systems. They work, you know what I mean? It's just you aren't going to get, and unless you've driven something different, you really aren't going to know the difference. You know what I mean? I did my father-in-law's 56 Ford pickup, basic Mustang front end, front suspension. The thing handles nice. It rides nice. You know, it's comfortable. But, you know, you step out of that and then you get into the Mustang that we built, the 69 or the Starliner, and oh my God, it's just like night and day.
Yeah.
They're just so responsive, you know, and you know, for those of you that don't understand camber caster, you know, camber, basically, when you set up camber, the more negative camber you have, the better cornering you're going to get. You know, we usually do, it just depends on what kind of car we're setting up, and that's why it's kind of good to go to professionals as well, because sometimes we know of what, you know, if you got a particular car, like a 65 Mustang or whatever, and you're putting air ride on it, well, then we're going to set it at, we're going to set up your camber caster at, you know, a ride height that you're going to be driving at mostly, and we're going to set that, program that into the air ride system. But then we also got to realize that you're going to be slamming that car on the ground, so when people walk up, you don't want your tires, you know, sticking in like you usually see when a car is slammed on the ground. So, but hey, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back, and when we come back, we're going to talk about a little bit more about camber caster. So hang in there.
Don't put those tools away. We'll be right back in the garage with Bodie Stroud.
How